I'm Josh. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Supra. We're going to be talking about what we think is the end game for this technology. There's many projects that are layer 2s, and you may have heard of layer 3s, but we think that that was a necessity only because of the limitations of Ethereum. We think you should scale the layer 1 to the maximum. How do you do that, and what are the limits? The limits are only bandwidth and compute. So what we are building is the all-in-one blockchain that can enable a new type of application we call Super dApps. So what is the problem? The problem today is that most decentralized applications need to run through multiple different services to do more things. You'll have a layer 1 smart contract platform that may speak to an Oracle service, another network, an automation network like Gelato, a randomness service by like Chainlink, a bridge like layer 0. And each way along the way, there is latency. That means it takes longer. There's security vulnerabilities, and there's tokens. This problem gets worse in the modular world, right? This might not be very popular, but our point of view is that actually full vertical integration, the opposite of modular, is the future of blockchain. So it gets worse when you're a layer 2 or layer 3. You have to use an execution layer. That's what you're doing. You use a third-party data availability layer, and you use a settlement layer like Ethereum. And then you still have to use these external networks, right? Remember, your application is as secure as the weakest link and protocol that you interact with. What this does, it incurs higher costs, right? For both the builder and the user. You have to manage multiple different tokens. You lose security guarantee. You don't have the layer 1 security guarantee anymore. And it takes longer. It's slower. There's more latency, which all translates to a worse user experience. For developers, the developer experience is more complex. You have to manage multiple different frameworks. You have to know different programming languages. And managing multiple gas tokens is a hassle. What we're doing is introducing a simpler way to build. And it's full vertical integration. Full vertical integration, what is that? Well, let's think about the iPhone moment. Back in the day, we had a flip phone, we had a fax machine, we had a camera, we had a speaker, we had a modem. They're all different devices. That's like the modular world. And then you have the iPhone, everything in one. And that's what we're doing here. We think that technology naturally tends to go towards vertical integration. So what we're building is a multi-VM platform. Your Ethereum applications, your Move applications, Solana applications, Cosm Wasm applications can deploy on Supra. We also have built-in automation. Many people may not know that blockchains do not have this or that logic. They don't have automation. That's traditionally an Oracle that has to trigger an automation. So we have a protocol design that will enable advanced transactional logic. Built in also is something that we call Hypernova, which is a cross-chain communication protocol that is cryptographically secure. We also have price feeds, one of our main products today that over 100 projects use. Our price feeds and our on-chain randomness services. These are also built into our network, single set of nodes that are doing all the work. Supra is powered by our novel moonshot consensus algorithm. It's considered the state-of-the-art for the classical BFT algorithms. In recent tests on 125 nodes across 5 global regions, we've achieved 530,000 transactions per second throughput and 500 millisecond optimistic finality. These metrics are improving actually, and we'll have new data on this soon. My point though is, if you can achieve this kind of scale on a layer 1, you shouldn't deploy layer 2s or layer 3s until you saturate the layer 1. Now remember, Ethereum, when I got into blockchain in early 2017 full time, there was no layer 2 strategy. Layer 2s were an afterthought. It wasn't part of the original plan. So we offer multi-virtual machine support. We want to allow dApps and applications from different ecosystems to deploy on Supra and take advantage of our native price feeds, native bridge, native automation, on-chain randomness. How do we do this? We have a novel network architecture called the tribes and clans architecture. So our nodes are organized into the network. It's called the tribe. And periodically, we shuffle the nodes into subcommittees called clans. And each of these clans are responsible for different parts of the system. So DORA is our decentralized Oracle agreement. Likewise, for oracles, this is considered state-of-the-art. And I say that because we have been accepted into top academic venues through double-blinded peer review processes. Our price feeds are achieving 700 to 900 millisecond finality on data. VRF, verifiable random function. VRFs are utilized for on-chain gaming, games of chance, cryptography, many other notions. We can have a different clan executing different virtual machines. One can be running the Move virtual machine. Another one can be running Ethereum applications. Another one can be running Solana applications and Cosmos applications. So this is called execution sharding. So what's really important, though, to maintain security are that these subcommittees, these clans, need to be rotated. Their responsibility needs to be changing frequently. The example I'd like to give is a body of water. If water is stagnant, it'll be a swamp. But if water is flowing and changing, you can have a vibrant ecosystem. Even within the clan itself, the nodes within the clan itself periodically have to be randomized and shuffled. So we do this on an epoch-to-epoch basis. We have inbuilt randomness in our protocol through cryptography, which allows us to have this verifiable unpredictability. And this is how we can deterministically reshuffle the network frequently. This is how the network stays secure. So let's talk about super dApps. What are super dApps? Super dApps are lower latency, better performance. They're robust because we have shared security. Simplified developer experience is one token, one network to have all these other services. It's cheaper because you don't have to manage many tokens. And it's cheaper for the end consumer ultimately as well. So the vertically integrated design of Supra drastically transforms the ways dApps can run. Any dApp from any VM can deploy on Supra and leverage 2 or more of our native services to unlock the Super dApp capability. So what kind of superpowers do Super dApps have? Well, they can have access to our cross-chain communication, our native price feed, our native automation. You know, like blockchains, they talk about these world computers, yet blockchains don't speak to the world unless you have oracles. And they don't speak to each other unless you have bridges, right? So we are designing a system that has all these features all in one. So on-chain randomness, verifiable randomness, this is actually a very interesting topic, and it's very important for GameFi to actually work on blockchains. We're high throughput and low latency through our Moonshot consensus algorithm, multi-VM support, cross-chain liquidity. Supra is actually vertically integrating not only the technology, but also DeFi primitives. Let's take a look at some examples of super dApps. These are things that you can't do on any other layer 1 or layer 2. So this is a very interesting one, next generation perpetual DEXs. Okay, so utilizing automation, our price feed oracles, and cross-chain communications. Okay, so what you can do on Supra, what we're building towards, that you can't do anywhere else, is a perpetual DEX in which liquidations are deterministically and automated. Right now, liquidations are triggered through external parties. And there's a lot of competition for that because there's usually a 1% fee for this liquidation. But what if you could have access to price feed data on a block-to-block basis and automatically, upon hitting these various triggers, liquidate to rebalance and keep the protocol solvent? Well, this is a very interesting model as a new revenue source for the dApp, because now the dApp can collect that revenue instead of just some MEV, for example. Ultra dynamic NFTs using the on-chain randomness for randomized attribution, perhaps speaking to the outside world through price feeds, or it could be weather data, it could be who won the presidential election, who knows, to give your NFT different attributes. Universal decentralized ID solutions Supra being a middleware network that can connect to multiple networks can allow us to do very interesting cross-chain identity solutions. In the world of AI, there may be treasure troves of data across different ecosystems. We may be a coordination layer to effectively do access control to this data across different ecosystems. Full vertical integration on Supra, as I mentioned, goes beyond the infrastructure only. We're also vertically integrating these DeFi primitives. So we can utilize smart contracts as what we call universal financial controllers. These are things that can help communicate with both legacy systems, private blockchains, and public blockchains to do things such as inventory management and rebalancing of liquidity pools. As I mentioned, some of the DeFi primitives that we're building into Supra include a network-owned treasury or network-owned liquidity. Okay, so Supra will be managing as a network vaults across different ecosystems as a liquidity network. We're pioneering a new type of market maker called a dynamic function market maker, DFMM. And as this middleware network that can communicate with the outside world and to other blockchains, we're basically what we call a cross-chain inventory management system. So some DeFi super dApps as examples. So universal money markets, cross-chain insurance protocols, cross-chain arbitrage solutions. So I want to emphasize, like how does this work? Well, if we have Oracle price feed data, we understand what's going on in the outside world. We have cross-chain communication protocols, so we're able to communicate to other blockchains. And we have automation logic. So we can say, for example, hey, at midnight, if Bitcoin is under 58,000, sell my ETH and buy more Bitcoin, and automate this transaction on-chain, settling for the native asset. We can do cross-chain governance systems. Many protocols are deploying to many chains and ecosystems, collateral management, asset management. I think there's going to be a use case for stablecoins, for FX on-chain through stablecoins, token receivables, and tokenized deposits. So we expect many more super dApps to be imagined from builders who understand the power of the tool set that Supra is providing. It's the builders' imaginations that we're really excited about. We have spoken to some builders, and some of their ideas are so inspired to create these novel things that they literally cannot build anywhere else. We have 150 projects that are interested to deploy on Supra. We have 515,000 KYC'd token holders through our gamified Learn to Earn program. This should be a world record for a Layer 1 launch. And there's many things that can be built on Supra that you just can't build anywhere else. Lastly, to stir and to kind of build attention and to attract projects to deploy on Supra, we have a Super dApp competition. This is, we have a 100 million ecosystem fund through our token. We have, you can launch to 500,000 verified users. We literally KYC'd every single person through Onfido. And you have a chance to be on the Killer Whale Show. We have a partnership with the Shark Tank for Crypto Web3 Killer Whale Show. The judges will include folks from the Killer Whales, KOLs, Republic Crypto, Google Cloud, Hashkey, Supra, and others. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Josh, for sharing your